In Black Clover, there are 3 different ancient demons. The first was Demon Licht, the most famous one and the most known by the fandom. The other 2 are unnamed spade royals. There's a lot of debate in the fandom on who are the most powerful of them all. Many will say it's Demon Licht because it's an elf chieftain turning into a demon, whereas the spade royals are just humans who turn into ancient demons. Others say the spade demons are stronger as they take place in a later arc, which would make them likely stronger due to power cliffing. Neither of these statements truly add anything of value to the overall argument. So I wanted to tackle this topic and discuss with you guys these 3 big evil boys and determine which one of them is actually the strongest. I'll give a briefer on each of the demons and discuss feats before actually scaling them in order from weakest to strongest. And before getting to the video, I want to give a big shout out to Arthur DeBurrow and his merch store, which has a lot of great Black Clover merch. I go check it out, and if you get stuff there, I'll support his and mine upcoming webtoon called 9 Fates. So I think it's best to start with Demon Licht. He's not just the first demon we see in the manga, but he's pretty much the first thing we see at all, as he's in the very beginning of chapter 1. People often talk about how Demon Licht is the strongest and most powerful ancient demon because he's an actual character. He has a name, a backstory, etc. Whereas the spade boyos don't have that at all. All we know is that they were spade royals that were rivals that turned into demons during a competition. But it would still be fallacious to assume that just because a character is nameless, that means they can't be stronger than a named character. For example, these characters are Dark Disciples. They get fodderized in the story, and they are nameless. But does that mean that they would lose to Nash, for example? No, the Dark Disciples would clap Nash even though Nash has a name in the story, has a backstory, and these are just nameless, seemingly pointless characters. There's another big reason why the fandom believes that Demon Licht is by far one of the strongest characters in the verse. That is because Licht is one of, if not the strongest character in the series, who used the power of all of the magic stones to transform himself into an ancient demon. Whereas the spade royals are just humans. But there is actually quite a bit wrong with that argument. For one, sure, Licht has a lot of mana and magic power as the chief of the elves, but he didn't have any of his own mana at the time of the events. He had just had all of his magic stolen by the nobles who stole Lumiere's swallowtail device and used it against the elves, which severely weakens that argument overall. Furthermore, it was never stated that Licht used all the magic stones. In fact, Zagred even mentions that he just used a stone, singular, not plural, which severely changes the stakes of his power. This was a magicless Licht using a single magic stone to transform. While Licht is strong in this arc, he actually is one of the most massively overrated characters in terms of power in all of Black Clover. I'll discuss the reasons as to why he's kind of overrated in power when we get into the actual scaling and comparisons and ranking between the ancient demons, but Demon Licht, he was strong in his own arc. In his demon form, he had more magic power than the entire elven race combined, as the swallowtail device absorbed the magic power of the entire elf tribe with ease, but it could not absorb Demon Licht's power as it would break midway through the process. Demon Licht was stronger than Lumiere, as it was implied that if Lumiere parried one of the ancient demon spells, the aftershocks of it would still destroy the Clover Kingdom, though Demon Licht's speed was lesser than Lumiere's. He overall would have won the fight if it were drawn out longer, so Demon Licht scales above Lumiere. That's like essentially his feats. Now I'll go with Spade Demon number 1. I'll classify the Spade Demon number 1 as the one that Miralina fought because this was the first one that we saw fight in that arc. To harken back to the point about Demon Licht, it is more logical to assume that the Spade Royal still had his own mana left when activating the spell, which brings about a possibility as to how the Spade Royals could possibly be stronger than Demon Licht, despite being mere humans in comparison to the elves. As for feats, the Spade Demon number 1 was impressive as even in his wingless form, he forced Marileona to go into her Hellfire incarnate form, and she would only defeat his wingless form when she paired it with a Mana Zone full release. But when he got strong with his demon wings, Marileona would only be able to win the fight because the ability of Hellfire incarnate is that her and her flames get stronger the longer she is in that form. The ancient demon of the Spade number 1 really didn't fight anyone besides Marileona, which lead us into Spade Demon 2, the one that Asta fought in the capital. This one terrorized the Clover populace, taking on Purple Orca's Captain Kaiser and many of his squad mates. They would fail to stop him, and so would Kirsch, Solid, and Nebra as well. The ancient demon was not really slowed down at all until he was met with the combination of a 24-year-old Julius Novachrono and Dionysios scale magic, though he was still about to get the W over them if not for the main character Asta to show up and reveal his tremendously powerful double union form. Though this ancient demon would lose to that version of Asta without putting up much of a fight at all. Now before I get into the ranking and scaling of the ancient demons, I want to discuss the often debated size scaling for them. That is that Demon Licht is the largest of the demons, and that means he's stronger because he's the largest. Well, that is actually wrong in both accounts. For one, just because the ancient demon is larger doesn't really mean anything. People will say that taller equals more power. And while that is possible, it can't be used to assume, as that is not entirely true. If we look at humans in Black Clover, there are characters that are small in stature with more magic power and more mana than characters of larger stature. And also, Yami gets stronger by condensing his mana, which is actually some evidence that the Spade Royals could be stronger if you believe them to be smaller than Demon Licht. The argument that Demon Licht is the largest is also very shaky. Pretty much people will pick the most flattering images for Demon Licht and the least flattering image of the Spade Demons. As if you compare these two pictures here, Demon Licht is bigger. But if you compare these ones, the Spade Demon is bigger. This one here shows that Demon Licht is not that much bigger than Lumiere. For all of the demons, each of them have pictures that make them look small. They all have pictures that make them look big. So there's no sound argument to say either is bigger than the other. You have to remember that these are characters meant to rival the size of entire kingdoms, and you're having them fight human-sized characters. It's very hard to portray that type of size in an art style, so they're going to have inconsistent drawings. Unless if we get something like a statement from a character, an author statement, or some sort of data book, then we can really only assume they're likely equal or very similar in size. So now onto the actual scaling. I'm going to start with the weakest of the ancient demons, and that is Demon Licht. I know this will be considered quite controversial, but please bear with me as to me explaining to you why he's the weakest. Demon Licht only scales to be a bit above Lumiere. Lumiere in the Elf arc was actually at his full power and equal to the one that fought Demon Licht. While he does state that he is essentially weaker in a weird state, and thus people think that this is not as strong as Prime Lumiere, and they say he's nerfed because he's in his stone form, but he's only nerfed from his true prime power. And that true prime power is after he absorbed the power of the ancient demon. People forget that he used the Swallowtail, absorbed Demon Licht's mana, and would make himself stronger. That is the true Prime Licht's power. Remember, it also made him arcane. But the actual Prime Licht that people generally consider is the one at the beginning of the Demon Licht fight before he absorbs the demon's mana. So he is still equal to that version of power of himself in this arc, and this is proven because Licht is at his full magic power when he's fully awakened, but the two are still equals to each other in speed and power. Now sure, Lumiere is technically not at his full power or abilities, you could say, because he does not have the other swords, but he still is at his full magic power, which would have to prove that Lumiere is also as well. This means that the ancient demon would likely be weaker than Zagred. Remember, Zagred was able to fight arcane versions of Licht and Lumiere at the same time and defeat them, even though Zagred was actually suppressed, as it was revealed he was not even at his full power until chapter 209 of the manga. If Demon Licht is weaker than Zagred, then he clearly scales way below the next demon on the list, and that is Spade Demon number 2. Now you could technically say that it's very likely that the Spade Demons are equal to each other because they were rivals in the past. That is very likely true, but because there's no direct comparison besides that, and no direct comparative feats, I'll just go with who has better feats overall. And this means that Spade Demon number 2 has lesser feats than Spade Demon number 1. Why is Spade Demon number 2 on the middle and above Demon Licht? Well, it's because he has feats well above Zagred, who I already showed you is also above Demon Licht. As the Spade Demon activated a spell, and that spell was so strong that it could not be destroyed by a Black Divider from Black Form 2 Asta with his Devil Arm. Remember that Black Form 2 Black Divider Asta in the Elf arc was already giving Zagred a lot of issues. Now imagine how much stronger Berserk Asta would be than Zagred. Then we already know that Devil Arm Asta is way above Berserk Asta. With this version of Black Form 2 Black Divider, Devil Arm Asta being well above that lesser powerful Black Form 2 Devil Arm, Asta would actually need Devil Union to go and defeat the Ancient Demon. Now it's pretty contrived, but the reasoning for Spade Demon. So this is actually feats here that puts the Spade Demon number 2 well above the Demon Licht, because his spell could not be negated by Black Divider. It just tanked the Black Divider, and and needed Devil Union to cancel it. Now it's pretty contrived, but the reasoning for Spade Demon number 1 being the strongest demon is because of the added scaling for Mereoleona and what she does after she defeats the Ancient Demon. The scaling starts with the Spade Demon number 1 being stronger than a post-time skip Monozone Mereoleona, since she needed Hellfire Incarnate to fight the Wingless Demon. In the anime canon, even just mid-time skip Mereoleona is an equal to Monozone Yami, and Merio would get a lot stronger than this and also get the Hellfire Incarnate form. But she even needs to use Monozone full release on top of that, in tandem with the Hellfire, to defeat the demon. But it was realized that this Spade Demon number 1 was actually not at full power without its wings, and now it was since it had them. This demon was able to have a long fight against Mereoleona, who was getting stronger and stronger as her Hellfire grew hotter and stronger, but eventually she just one-shots him. Now the fact that the Spade Demon number 2 held out for a while means that his strength is close to Mereoleona's. This Mereoleona would not even cave to the gravity of Lucifero's worm state. This worm state is actually stronger than a 100% Dante by a wide margin. There are multiple scaling instances that prove this, but the fact that Worm Lucifero caused a lot more fright among everyone, even more fright than the fused twins were able to conjure in the crowds when they were out, that would essentially put Worm Lucifero above Fusion Lilith. But there is of course actual scaling evidence for this. When Yuno first used Eurus, he was able to kill 100% Xenon, who was stated to be the near equal of a Supreme level devil. And remember, Supreme level devils rank well above high rank devils, which is the rank of Zagrid. So Yuno got way stronger after Star Magic was awakened, making him at the level of Devil Xenon. Yet Yuno, with this power far beyond a Supreme Devil, made him only able to defeat half of Lucifero. Keep in mind that Lucifero was so strong and was getting stronger every second, still getting stronger and stronger despite Henry absorbing his magic. Also, Hellfire Mereoleona, with the help of Fagolion, destroyed Lucifero's tail. This means that she is at least half the power of Lucifero because she could obliterate it with Fagolion's help, and Spade Demon number 1 scales to this Mereoleona, which is what gives evidence as to why Spade Demon 1 is above Spade Demon 2. Now again, it's hard to kind of guesstimate which one is the strongest because both essentially got dominated by people who are Supreme Devil level. But I would say that because it's likely that this demon had to have a pitched fight because Mereoleona had to survive and get stronger and stronger and stronger, this would mean that the Ancient Demon had to be very close in power to her. And because of what she does to a worm state Lucifero, who is essentially way above 100% Dante, I would have to put Spade Demon number 1 above Spade Demon number 2. That's my ranking. The weakest is Demon Licht. The middle rank is Spade Demon number 2, which is the one that Asta kills. And then the strongest is Spade Demon number 1, which is the one that Mereoleona kills. So that being said, let me know your thoughts of this video down below. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, turn notifications. Hope you guys all have an amazing day. Plus...